Hey guys, this is Man to Man Podcast, a podcast about all kinds of basketball. My name is Jacob Rosenfarm, and I'm one of your hosts.
I'm Jeff Griffith. I'm your other host.
And I'm Josh Sackles, the producer.
It's good to be back, boys. It's been quite a while.
Very good to be
It's
back.
great to be back.
Last time we talked on, at least on record, it was, late April. Playoffs were just getting underway. There was still hope for some kind of upset or surprise, and then the playoffs were pretty boring.
Yeah.
Warriors rolled.
The conference finals were great. The conference
yes.
finals were fantastic.
That's true.
And then everything else was a little
The
disappointing.
NBA finals were, from a competitive standpoint,
Yeah.
underwhelming. From a wow, the Warriors are very good standpoint, it was pretty enjoyable to watch them just be incredible.
Game 1 was awesome.
Yes.
And then 2, 3, 4 were kind of rough. Kind of brutal, if we're being
But
honest.
obviously, that's almost 4 months ago at this point.
Yeah.
A whole lot has happened since then. Jacob.
Couple things. A couple minor moves around
Obviously,
the league.
one of those teams who played the finals looks completely different.
Yeah.
And the other one added some more pieces just so they can get even better. But we'll get to that later.
Just why not?
We'll get to that later. But the first big thing that happened after the playoffs wrapped up was, of course, the NBA draft. And we all know DeAndre Ayton, obviously, goes first to the Suns. I think we both expected that pick.
Yeah.
I know some people were on the Luka Doncic bandwagon for the Suns, but he actually ended up being one of the more interesting storylines, Jacob.
Yeah, I think Luka Doncic kind of defines this draft. I think that trade from between the Mavericks and the Hawks to basically swapping Trae Young for Luka, I think that was obviously the defining moment of this draft, and I think will go on to kind of determine this league for years to come. I mean, I think the thing with Doncic is if you buy into Doncic, I think you kind of buy into him as a superstar, and I personally do. I think he changes the entire face of the Mavericks franchise.
Well, the Mavericks certainly have to hope so.
Oh my God, yeah.
What would be a very funny storyline is if Trae Young ended up being better than
that would be fantastic.
Luka Doncic. But the one thing I noticed leading up to the draft, it seemed like maybe like 6-12 months ago, Luka Doncic was the golden boy of this draft. Not that he still isn't one of the top players, but it seemed like people really started to almost like right before you go into something big, whether you start to get really nervous about it and second guess it. It seemed like that was kind of the vibe around Luka Doncic leading up to the draft. Why?
I don't know. I just think people talk themselves out of Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Like
we haven't seen enough highlights.
They saw all the things
his competition isn't that good in Europe.
Exactly. They just made up all these excuses why he wasn't they saw all this fantastic tape and all these things that you want in a basketball player, but he wasn't 7 feet tall and he wasn't this athletic freak. And they're like, oh God, we can't do it.
So to you, what is he?
What is he in terms of skill? Like
what should they have seen that they didn't see?
Oh my God! They should have seen the elite playmaking, the elite shooting, the ability to lead a team, the ability to be the best player on a team at 17, surrounded by other former NBA. All 4 of his former starters were NBA players at some point. That's unheralded. That's you can't compare what DeAndre Ayton had at U of A to what Doncic had in Real Madrid. I mean, those are 2 completely different scenarios, and one of them is much closer to the NBA, and that guy shined at a level we have not seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
And the fact that the team with the 5th pick in the draft got him is nuts. Is absolute lunacy.
Josh, look, you want to say something?
Yeah, so I was listening to some podcasts trying to keep up with
other podcasts.
Oh my God, you were cheating on us.
Fake.
I wasn't producing them. I was just listening.
Okay, understand.
Sure, whatever.
So, yeah, I think one of the things that they mentioned was people just seem to, like you said, talking themselves out of Luka Doncic. Like, is he really that good? Even though no more basketball had been played, like, he had the same exact stats that he did in May that he did going into the draft in June. People were still like, yeah, no, he just might not be as good.
Yeah, he also never have a chance to kind of blow himself up at the combine.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would I fly out from Spain to the combine if
he was in
a top 5 pick?
He was in the playoffs with Real Madrid. Yeah, I really do think that people weren't there to study him in these independent workouts, and they just talked themselves out of it. Just couldn't wrap their heads around
Jennifer Aniston.
Exactly, he is holding out for Jennifer Aniston.
Talk to me about these new Mavs. Are they the most improved team after this draft?
Ooh, are they in the league or just big?
Okay, how about this? Do they have a chance to be the most improved team from last year?
Interesting.
The most improved team that didn't get LeBron James.
Gotcha. That's the one caveat. I think that I could definitely get behind that.
Because you're looking at a core of Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, and a very, very old Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah, DSJ and Doncic are their
such a fun backcourt for years.
I think that's perfect. I think that's an awesome
pairing. My goodness.
If Dennis Smith Jr. can learn to shoot a little better, I think that's. Yeah. I don't have his stats pulled up, but it's like low 30s for his shooting percentage from 3, maybe high 20s. Like it was not where you want it to be, and the ideal running mate with Doncic is someone who's going to just be able to launch as he draws the defense in, because he just has that magnetic sort of ability with the ball to just kind of control everyone on a string, and you need shooters around that. But you also need playmakers, and that's what Dennis Smith Jr. does best. Like he's gonna be able to grab that ball and just get he's just a force. He's gonna be so much fun with Doncic.
A couple numbers to throw at you. Dennis Smith Jr. in 69 games last year.
Nice.
15 points a game, 3.8 rebounds, but he did shoot 31% from three, as you said. So not the greatest from one of your guards, but.
No.
Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic. Obviously, you just explained all about how great that's going to be. Give me a comp. Give me whether it's a real backcourt that happened or just an idealistic combination of two players.
Okay.
Who is this backcourt? Maybe 5-10 years ago.
I'll give you. If we imagine like this is an NBA 2K all-time.
Now you're
team,
talking my language.
All-time team. We're pulling from the Portland Trail Blazers, and I think this would be a backup. As if Damian Lillard and Brandon Roy had teamed up.
Oh,
that is how I see this pairing. Brandon Roy was my comp for Luka Doncic coming out. And I think it's kind of spot on.
I've heard it a lot, like peak Brandon Roy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A ball dominant guard who can just kind of command the offense from that shooting guard position. Brandon Roy is a little shorter. I want to say Brandon Roy was 6'6" when he was playing, and Doncic is more 6'8". So he's that more kind of guard, and he's a little slower, a little heavier. But the comp still works, I think. I think they're both equally talented shooters, equally talented facilitators, and someone like Dame Lillard who could light it up, I think, to me, reminds me a lot of DSJ.
Well, I think Mavs fans have to like that comment.
I would have to think so.
Mavs fans have to like this team.
Yeah,
I mean, the Mavs are becoming like a really fun team.
Oh my god!
I mean,
they're going to be so
this is a
much
team
fun.
that was in the finals, 7 years ago when they played the Heat?
Yeah, 2011.
And they might not be back yet, but they're
No.
on the rise. You have to think they're one of the more bright featured teams.
Oh, for sure.
Especially out of that chunk of lower tier teams from a year ago.
How many players away are they?
How many pieces from a championship caliber team or from a playoff caliber team?
From a championship, because let's assume that DSJ and Luka turn out to be like good players, regular all-stars. So how many pieces away are they?
They're probably 3 years of development, maybe 2. And definitely a talented winger big for sure.
Yeah, then I'd say one more piece for that big three to form.
Whether it's a big or like a talented shooting wing, like you said, maybe to counteract DSJ and not as a very good shooter. Probably one piece, but also a couple years of development. Like this team, if you added a very good piece to this team now, they're not a championship caliber team.
Yeah, just give them a couple years.
Their backcourt, this elite backcourt, has a combined 1 year of experience entering this season.
Exactly. I think if
NBA experience.
Both these players have to reach much higher potentials than what they're at right now. They have much higher ceilings. I mean, like my comp for DSJ of Damian Lillard, that's only if he reaches his peak shooting ability. I mean, I don't think Lillard was never as poor a shooter as this. So like if I think DSJ to be the best possible point guard he can be for this league,
it's an idealistic comparison for sure. But I think we both are in agreement that the Mavs are kind of the winners of this draft.
Oh, for sure.
Sun's got a great piece in DeAndre.
Yeah, of course.
Him coupled with Booker is going to be a fun combo. But moving a little further down, I think we often talked about how top-heavy this draft was. But there are some sneaky talents.
Oh, of course.
Obviously, throughout the first round, there's some interesting stories. Who are some of these picks? These, maybe in the 10 to 25-ish range that stick out to you as, an interesting pairing with their team or just a guy you think is going to be special?
I mean, the big slip to me was Michael Porter Jr. at 14.
Sure,
I think we knew that at the time.
Everyone was scared of his injury.
Exactly. Sure. No one knew what to expect, but for him to land in Denver on that team is nutty.
On a playoff caliber roster, for
definitely.
Sure.
This is a team that they didn't have Paul Millsap for I want to say 50 games last season, and so this is a playoff ready roster that just needed this type of inflection of talent and scoring. He is incredible. He's going to be so talented from the jump. I think if he can stay healthy. His ability to score from the wing, his size at 6'11", but he can shoot. He is just he's so much fun to watch.
He's one of those examples of those players that we were talking about for so long about as an elite talent.
Yeah. And
people get so scared because they don't see him play in college. And the one time they saw him play was an NCAA tournament loss that he probably didn't care about.
Yeah, it was 3 for 6 in that game.
Yeah,
It's
an 8 seed, 9 seed. Why would he?
What is his motivation?
But another storyline that I was just reading through this draft, these draft results, and another storyline that I completely forgot about that I think I texted you the night of the draft is talk me through who you think won the trade between the 76ers and the Suns.
This is a fascinating
and
trade.
forget the injury to Zaire Smith.
That
out of the picture.
That part.
If this is the day after the draft, who won that trade?
the day after the draft, I'm picking the Sixers. The Sixers picked up an extra pick. They got Zaire Smith and a future Suns. Future Suns pick. And that's just that. I think Zaire Smith, in my mind, was almost as good a prospect as Mikal Bridges. They did relatively similar things. I think they're both going to be defensively very
absolutely
talented.
Two of the better defenders in this class. For
exactly.
Sure.
I think they're going to be locked down. I mean, they're going to lock down a different type of player. I think Zaire Smith is much bouncier and much rangier. I think he's going to be able to lock down the point guards and the electric shooting guards of this league. I think Bridges is a little more sturdy, a little more wiry, and I think he's going to be able to just dominate some wings. I think from the jump, he's an older rookie. I think he's 22, so he's going to the second he's in the league, I think he's going to be tasked with guarding the league's best small forwards, and I think he's going to accelerate from the jump, or he's going to excel from the jump.
Yeah, can you imagine being him though? Like, imagine you are drafted number 10 by your hometown team where your mom works, and then you're traded to the Suns.
I know, that's brutal.
That is Suns horrible. To Phoenix.
Jeff,
so
can you
deflating.
talk us through the process of coming from Philadelphia
to process. Well, if he's anything like me, he'll probably get here and be like, I love this city, and he'll think it's awesome, and then it'll get really hot. And I'll be like, wow, this blows. But he'll be playing on a quality team, you have to think, in a few years. Whether or not he'll be a significant piece of that is yet to be seen. But, I mean, he'll be playing with some talented young guys.
To Indianapolis to play with the Pacers?
Well, he wouldn't be bad for him. I mean, the Pacers look pretty good. I mean, the Pacers have some young talent.
Interesting.
You're following quite the thread here, Junior.
Yeah, really. We can... That was a joke to co-host Jeff's how do we want to put this plans to immigrate to Indianapolis
well,
at some point.
More
Circle City, baby.
His past 2 summers where he worked in Indianapolis. So
this
in
is
my
great
mind,
content, Josh.
yeah, really, I don't think the people of Man to Man want to hear anything more than Jeff's DCI experience. I think that is what they're hoping for.
So back to basketball. Mikal Bridges. That was just the wildest storyline to me because I remember I wasn't watching the draft. I mean, I'm sorry, I was busy, but I got a text from one of my best friends. His name's Trevor, and he's a big basketball fan, big Sixers fan. And he texted me, and the first thing he says, I see Bridges, and I'm like, first I'm like thinking which one because there's 2.
Sure.
And he's like, I'm like, oh my God, Mikal! I see the notification. Oh my God, Mikal Bridges, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh, it's so awesome. He's a hometown guy. I mean, he went to high school like 20 minutes from me. Played in the same conference as my high school. And so, he's from that area. Got all the connections. I'm like, that's so cool. It's a great storyline. And then like 20 minutes later, same guy texts me. He's like, OMG. I'm like, what? He's like, we traded him. I'm like, for who? He's like, Zaire Smith. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm
yeah,
like,
if you're going to trade away Mikal Bridges, I guess I got my
So it was just this whirlwind of emotions. like, oh my God, the hometown guy. Oh my God, the better player. But then, of course, the Sixers injury curse.
I mean, it was bound to happen. We knew it was coming.
It's 5 in a row, baby. 5 in a row.
That's nuts. That's crazy. That's something. There's something up
like,
there.
did you fire your trainer at that point?
At that point, you just clean house. No, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. No, I'm joking.
That's quite the process.
You don't have a GM to fire right now, so I don't know what you would do.
Hey, find the new slant.
My bad. That's on me. Anywho, so 5 straight. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's unheard of. I mean, that. I don't even know how to. How do you respond to that as a franchise if your 5 straight first rounders have broken something?
I don't know. But the one question I have is if none of that is an issue, if that curse doesn't exist, if that juju is not a thing, where are the Sixers now? They're a year ahead with Embiid, they're a year ahead with Simmons, and they're a year ahead with Fultz.
Well, I mean, you're 2 years ahead with Embiid. If we're counting out injuries, like Embiid was 2 years. Yeah, I mean, they're just a year farther. Farther along in the progression.
You have a real
you have a functioning point guard.
Fultz,
So
a functioning point guard is not 7 feet tall.
So yeah, this Sixers franchise, I don't think it would look terribly different, but God, I wish they could just turn off the injuries. Like
no kidding.
Just
like
mess with the settings on 2K. And just flip that
turn
injury settings. Yeah, exactly.
I used to not be about turning off injuries on 2K until I met Jacob and he introduced me to it. It's very lovely.
It really is.
It's such a relief.
Exactly. Why put yourself through that kind of stress?
One question I have for you is, we often will see guys who they're drafted largely because of what they do in March.
Sure.
Talk to me about Dante DiVincenzo, the Michael Jordan of Delaware. I did not come up with that.
Yeah, that's an interesting nickname. I think DiVincenzo's gonna be fine. I think he's okay. I think he's branded as this scoring combo guard who can kind of do a little bit of everything. And I don't know how much I exactly buy into that. I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be an okay shooter for them. He'll get to the rim with some sort of frequency, but nothing. I think they were much better. I mean, the fact that Lonnie Walker went one pick after him is that's kind of egregious.
Him in San Antonio is gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be super fun. So I don't know if I'm the Bucks, I'm definitely taking Lonnie over DiVincenzo.
A guy who he played with, who you're very high on, Omari Spellman, is joining Trae Young in Atlanta.
I am very high on that.
What's that young core look like?
I think that Atlanta is doing
slept on.
I mean, I wish they if this core included Doncic instead of Trae Young, I'd be much happier. But Trae Young's nice. I really like Spellman. I think John Collins is solid. I think Taurean Prince is really good. I think DeAndre Bembry is really good. I think they have some really nice pieces.
Yeah, I like Bembry
building there. But the Doncic pick I think would have accelerated everything for them, and instead they're going with another Seth Curry.
And before we wrap up the draft, one last point: we all can hype up the Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic combo, but the real best backcourt that was developed by this draft was definitely Grayson Allen and Donovan Mitchell. Remember?
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
That's gonna be quite the juxtaposition of personalities.
Interesting. What do you say there about Grayson Allen? You Duke hater.
Nothing new, probably.
Nothing new.
Nothing
good.
that hasn't been said before.
No, I don't know. I think the Grayson Allen slander.
I never hated him that much.
Really?
I mean, I hated him from like a he beats my team standpoint, but I never hated him as a person. I never thought. The whole like
the tripping thing was
people
bad,
like I mean just chill, man. But like I never thought he was like this demon of a player. He's just a guy who plays hard and then lets his head get to him way too often. But at the same time, I mean, power to him going to Utah.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I think that's a good pickup for them. I think he balled out in summer league. He looked real good in summer league. I mean, that kind of makes sense though. That's the college competition he's been dominating for 4 years now. Right. Just put on a different stage. So it kind of makes sense to do.
How's he gonna look when he's with NBA talent?
Exactly. So that's the real question. But I think he's good. I think he definitely has a spot in this league. Like no doubt in my mind.
Did we talk about how insane his former team looks, or did we talk about free agency first?
Let's talk about free agency, and then we'll get into Duke.
Okay, we'll get to you, Zion.
Yeah, don't worry.
We're coming for you. But yeah, free agency was nutty.
Free agency was fun, man. Free agency was a real good time.
Can I get a bit of a what's the word? A reenaction of your brain. Just walk me inside the sounds and sights of your brain when LeBron James picked the Lakers.
Okay, obviously I was enthralled. I was like,
he's gonna write it all. I expected it the whole time.
That's the thing, though. There wasn't this one the happiest I. Let me really think about this for a second. The happiest I think
walk me through those days, those 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
The happiest I'd been in a summer Lakers decision was back in. I'm gonna mess up the year, but it was probably 2013, 2014 when they traded for Howard. That was the moment that I was like just over the moon, just like ridiculous. That was a didn't really know what was happening, and the moment it happened, that's like that's an alert that pops up on your phone, and you're going nutty. With this one, like we had known for a couple weeks, like we had
that it was at least the favorite.
That Lakers seemed like the very clear favorite to land LeBron, and just like all the pieces were aligned. I mean, even as early as in the season, I mean the Nance and Clarkson trade was designed to clear cap space.
I want to pause on that for a second. I'm sorry to ruin your parade.
No.
I want to pause on the fact that LeBron got the Cavs to trade for Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson, which then in turn cleared up the cap room for him to go to the Lakers.
Yeah,
that's just crazy.
That's just genius maneuvering by the team.
That's amazing. That is chess. Yeah, that is checkmate.
All of these kids are playing checkers, and LeBron's out here playing chess.
Yes,
like
that's a comp. My goodness, that's
just a whole different sort of 2012. Sorry for the Howard trade, not 2014. 2012.
Okay.
But yeah, LeBron's just out here just maneuvering everyone.
That was like one of those things that hit me like 12 hours after the announcement. Like, oh my God, didn't they just trade for those? That opened up so much cap room. He's got that cap room. Like, just that one, you put 2 and 2 and 2 together.
It's incredible.
And you get a very funny storyline. A very just ironic storyline.
Just a very
props to the Lakers and LeBron.
Dan Gilbert tried to use LeBron, and LeBron used Dan Gilbert. Like that's the
imagine being him at this point.
Oh my God.
Just how you feel, just fleeced.
There were reports that Dan Gilbert was even before he made the decision, was hoping LeBron would go, because he wanted to prove that he could build a winner in Cleveland without LeBron. And that to me is just the most clear example of how misguided and narcissistic these NBA owners are to think that I don't need the greatest player of all time. I can build a winner without him.
Tell me he didn't actually say that.
Yeah, okay, not publicly at all, but
Okay.
like there were like reports from within the
rumors.
Cleveland front office that Danny Griffin was happy that he said within their war room, I'm happy to see him
That
go.
might be the coldest take I've
It's
ever heard.
it's so misguided. It's so head up your own ass.
Wow, that's literally. I mean, that's like how people were saying that. I mean, this might be a little more sensible, but not really. That's like how people were saying that Bill Belichick was okay with the idea of Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Niners and Tom Brady, jumping ship soon so he could prove that he can win the Patriots without Tom Brady. Because everyone, it's Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. It's the same thing. It's bogus.
Yeah,
it's absolutely bogus.
Yeah.
I don't care who I win with. I want to win a championship.
Here's the thing though. I actually believe Dan Griffin thinks that. I think I 100% believe Dan. Sorry, my bad. Dan Gilbert believes that.
That's two E's on this podcast. Two factual errors.
I know, really. Downgrade me. I think that he truly believed that he could build this without LeBron. I think he's so narcissistic, so just believe in himself that there's no, I don't know.
Well, I agree that he probably believed that. That wasn't just like, that wasn't just rumor. Like I'm sure that was probably part of his psyche, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you ever want him to leave? Like not only the fact that he brings that team together, he brings that town together. He is that Cleveland metro area. Like he's that guy. He's their person. And that's like the Lakers wanting Kobe to go. Or, I mean he's not from there. Obviously he's from Philadelphia, but case in point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hometown hero.
The identity of this city.
Yes,
changes.
The hometown hero who also happens to be arguably, we both think so, the greatest player of all time. Let's make him leave. Let's want him to leave.
Yeah,
let's not try to
push him out the door.
Let's be okay with him leaving us forever. Like that just baffles me.
It's like if the Red Sox pushed out David Ortiz.
Yes, same idea. But one thing that baffles me now, looking forward, obviously, we can talk all we want about how the Cavaliers may have screwed up or how the Lakers made a right move. But one thing that baffles me is that they're still not really even potentially a top 3 team in the West.
I don't
That's
think they
insane.
are. I'm questioning whether they're going to get home court in the playoffs.
There was one, I think it was like ESPN's Oddmakers or something, but I've even seen a handful of prognosticators, maybe a little misguided, saying they're not even a playoff team.
No, I've seen that as well. That's lunacy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that far.
Yeah,
but the top 4 thing is valid.
I'm behind that. I think we are
ranked
far,
your West
far
top
away.
5.
I mean, Warriors at the top, and then
Really?
after that, just a bloodbath. I've seen Utah as the 2nd seed,
Whoa.
and I've heard
I
about
guess we
that.
do forget that the Rockets lost Trevor Ariza.
Yeah.
He wasn't a huge piece, but he was a piece.
I think it's their
and they
4th
had
best player.
Carmelo.
Yeah,
but I don't think that makes them better.
That's subtraction by addition. I think that with the Carmelo signing, I think that's whatchamacallit. That's questionable.
Like, I love the guy, but at this point in his career, I don't think he makes teams better.
No, clearly. I think
he's still a good athlete, but I don't think he makes teams better.
I think he's going to be fine for that team. It's so hard to distinguish Carmelo now, Thunder Carmelo from even New York Carmelo. Like, we can't. They're clearly two very different players and one can only thrive in Carmelo, it appears, can only thrive in a very specific role where he is a ball dominant lead forward who controls the offense.
Yeah.
And at this point in his career, that's just not where he's gonna.
Right.
That's not what he's best at. That's not where his strengths best lie, and I don't think he realizes that.
Well, I do like. I am looking forward to seeing how the Thunder are without him, and how when it's just Russell Westbrook and Paul George, 2 guys in their prime, running that team. You don't have his attitude kind of weighing you down. I don't know how much of an issue that was for them last year, but I am curious to see if they're improved without him.
Yeah, I think
it's valid.
There's definitely a thought that they could improve. I think that team. I think the signing of Schroeder for them is gonna. I'd much rather have Schroeder than Carmelo, and I think that's a huge addition for them. Mm-hmm. I think if he can play alongside Westbrook, that gives them a legit. I think Paul George, Russ, and Steven Adams are 3 legit NBA All-Star talents. Add in Schroeder, add in Roberson, add in Jeremy Grant. That's something.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's
definitely a playoff team.
That's a top 3 seed in the West to me.
Whew, top 3.
Yeah, top 3.
Now tell me, we've thrown in the Jazz, we've thrown in the Rockets. Now, one big thing that, it's a whole other story that we haven't started to talk about yet.
Yeah.
The swap of DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
We'll start in the West because that's where we are. And what does DeMar DeRozan do for the Spurs?
I think he.
Don't forget Lonnie Walker.
Don't forget Lonnie Walker. Couldn't do it. I think he does a lot of things well what they're looking for. I think that he builds into that culture. He builds into that idea of a superstar who's not quite at that level, not quite the super duper star as we talked about, but that really established, similar to Marcus Aldridge.
One could say he's less inferior to Kawhi Leonard.
Less inferior, spot on.
A year ago today, I have Jacob quoted saying that.
But. Yeah, I stand by it.
But yeah, I think the Spurs are an interesting case because obviously we only saw last year what they were without Kawhi. So I think with DeMar DeRozan, they're better than what we saw from them last year.
Clearly, yeah.
Are they better than they were with Kawhi? Probably not.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
You also, I mix these two up all the time. Parker retired, or Ginobili retired?
Ginobili retired.
Ginobili
just retired.
Okay, I don't know why I always mix those two up.
Parker's in Charlotte now.
Parker's in Charlotte. Okay, yes, I remember. I thought they both left. That was just a mental error by me. But yeah, so you lose those two guys, so you're gonna be very young.
Definitely.
DeJounte Murray
exactly.
is kind of your go-to now at the point.
Lonnie Walker, Brandon Paul. That's a young team.
That's a young but talented. DeMar DeRozan essentially is the leader of that team.
Oh, definitely. Him and LaMarcus.
I think they're in the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I think they're probably
I would have to think so.
7 or 8 seed, maybe 6.
There's just a bunch of teams in that clump, though.
Yeah, there's 10, 11 viable playoff teams.
Honestly.
There are only 3 or 4 that I'd say aren't. For sure.
Yeah, we can definitely count the Mavs out, definitely count the Suns out. And after that. Kings we can definitely count out. And then after that, it's a little...
Clippers?
See, no, I don't think we can 100% count them out.
I'm not too high on the Clippers.
I don't think you're going to be great.
Okay, I'm not too high on the Clippers in this West.
Yes, definitely. But, I don't think they're as bad as the Kings or Suns or, I think the Grizzlies have to be in that conversation. That's a team. Marc Gasol's healthy. Mike Conley's healthy. Jaren Jackson's going to be real good. There's something there. There are so many solid teams in the West.
Pelicans, can't forget about them.
Pelicans going to be fun.
And they made some noise last year in the playoffs. And they didn't really lose anything.
Playoff 8.
Cousins.
Oh my god.
But Cousins wasn't there.
There's so many things to remember.
They also lost Rondo.
Oh my goodness.
But they got Randall. They have
that's
Julius.
right.
I think the Julius Randall signings for them is real nice.
Yes.
I think that makes a lot of sense next to Cousins. They're clearly making Davis a center.
And that's what he has to be.
Exactly.
Not just a center, but the center.
He is, exactly. He is the center. In this league, though, he is the... If we're classifying him as a center, there's nobody who can touch that. Mm-hmm. Not your boy up in Philly.
I know. I forget what I was going to say.
We can keep talking about the Western playoff.
I think...
You seemed upset about Boogie.
No, I didn't. I wasn't upset. I just forgot about him. Okay. I forgot about. I sometimes you don't put 2 and 2 together with things, and you remember he went to the Warriors, but you don't remember he left the Pelicans. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
And so that thought did not click for me in the sense that the Pelicans lost that piece. That's why I reacted the way I did.
Again, they didn't have him during the playoffs, and
right?
They still
and they arguably looked better.
Yeah, no, you could definitely make an argument.
When he went out, and I don't think it's because he went out. But they really caught fire. That's when they went from being the 8 seed to at one point being as high as the 3. They caught fire. They went looking in the playoffs. They didn't beat the Warriors in 7 as you predicted, Jacob. But they pretty much handled the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh my god.
So that's certainly a talented team.
Definitely, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch.
Drew Holiday, I think, could be he's still there, right?
Yes.
Jacob looked at me like I had 5 heads right now. I was very worried that I got another.
I was curious what you were gonna say. I was intrigued. I like Drew.
I think we saw last year how good a piece he can be.
Yes.
A lot of people thought he got snubbed from the All-Star race.
Oh, definitely.
And so
I think so many talented point guards in the West. It's ridiculous.
Yes. So another piece that they have that I think people might be sleeping on.
Oh, for sure.
But the West. We could talk all day about how stacked it is. But,
it's gonna be so much fun. I think. A LeBron-centric point, though, bringing back to how stacked the West is, he's been used to taking off 30, 40 games a year. When playing sad sacks like the Now Heat, the Pistons, all these crappy franchises in the East. Now there are no days off. Exactly, like the once proud Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
But we're getting back there, Brooklyn Nets nation.
There are no days off in the West. I mean, he's gonna go back to back with Warriors and then the Thunder and then the Rockets. He's just gonna be brutal.
Yeah. And even the middle tier,
exactly.
Your Clippers, your Nuggets, those are still really good teams.
Exactly. Even when you think it's a night off with air quotes, it's still not. They're still talented.
It looked like it might get to this point last year, and then it kind of didn't because it ended up being, I believe. Out of the top 16 teams, I believe only 9 were from the West last year. But this could be the year where you see an argument really come into fruition that we might need to reseed and not go conference. Because this is probably going to be a year where you might see out of the top 16, 11 or 12 be from the West.
It could be. I think The hardest part about that is always going to be record. Like the
Right,
teams are
yeah.
always going to beat up on each
Yeah,
other, so
like
the records are
the
going
10
to
seed
look.
in the West might be better, but their record might be a little worse than the
Exactly.
8 seed in the East. You know.
And so we're just going to have to rejigger that somehow, but just kind of reframe our thinking almost on what quantifies a good team and how we want to fix this problem. Because it's at some point it's just going to become too unfair for Western Conference teams to make it, because this is brutal at this point.
So I have a question before we move on a little too far. Do you guys buy into the thought process that LeBron said, you know what, we're just going to kind of chill this year, let the young guys develop, and we're really going to go for it next year? Or do you think LeBron's like, nah, I want to try to win a title this year?
I don't think LeBron ever doesn't want to win a title.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this perfect world.
But like,
no, I think your original point is spot on. I think you're kind of taking this year off, if we're being honest. I don't think you'd ever admit that. Obviously, I don't think you'd ever really concede the fact. But
yeah, I mean, he's a smart enough basketball mind to know that they're probably not winning this year, no matter how hard he plays or how well he plays or how the young guys step up. Like he's smart enough to know that they're not there yet.
And I think you also would have known that he's not winning with just Kawhi. I think he would have needed this summer Kawhi and Paul George if he wanted to really take down the Warriors this year. Yeah. So I think once he saw the writing on the wall that Paul George wasn't coming and it would have taken a lot to get Kawhi, he's like, okay, let's sit this one out. Let's sign a bunch of one-year deals so we retain our cap flexibility for next summer and go after this loaded class.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think he's not dumb. I think he sees what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there is a little bit in the East.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we all agree that there's a clear top 3.
Yeah.
You can order it as you will. But Kawhi to the Raptors is really the big offseason move here.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be so much fun, if I'm being honest. I think that team is going to
Did they get better, you think?
Oh, definitely. I think they definitely got better. I just think simply the addition of, like, the difference between DeRozan and Kawhi to me is substantial enough to improve you from a 3 seed to a 1 seed, or from that sort of jump where you take a good team to a great team. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the kind of talent he possesses.
Boston's going to the finals.
I don't know, man. I think the Raptors are really good. I think this Kawhi team, if they are able to work in some lineups where it's like Kyle Lowry, DeLon Wright, Norman Powell, Kawhi, and Valanciunas. I'm always gonna say Valanciunas when I'm around you guys. And Valanciunas, I think that's such a switchy. That's such a fun.
Yeah.
Like everyone's 6'5" to 6'8" except for Valanciunas. It's like that's gonna be so much fun. I think they have the ability to create these hybrid, super switchy, super defensively inclined matchups that are gonna be super fun to watch.
Sure, absolutely. I don't want to slight them at all. I just think we saw how good the Celtics were last year, and all these young pieces that really showed out. I mean, you can name any Marcus Smart, Rozier. I mean, Jason Tatum. But then you throw back into the mix Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. You have to hope at least that they're healthy.
Yeah.
And so that's a scary talented roster.
I think basketball fans are way underthinking this, if we're being honest. I don't think it's just simply that clean an addition of like throwing in Kyrie. I think there's going to be so much there needs to be a reevaluation.
There's a retool the roster and figure out who gets what minutes and who
gets what minutes, who gets. I mean, there's only one ball, and so many of those players are so ball dependent. I mean, I love Jason Tatum, but we're not seeing a whole lot from him without the ball.
The biggest question mark for the Celtics is how they handle the talent they have.
Yeah,
which is a good problem to have.
Oh, obviously. And no one is better equipped than Brad Stevens, but I just think that I don't think this is as clean as people think it's going to be.
I don't mean to
I think it's going to be super messy.
I don't mean to oversimplify it, but I do think they're still the most talented roster in the East.
They have the most talent of anybody in the East.
Yep.
But I don't know. I am very far from penciling them in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a lot messier than people are giving credit for. I think it's going to take a lot longer for them to kind of gel than I think people understand. But I think I don't know if they're a sleeper in the East, but the improvements the Bucks are going to make with Budenholzer, the difference between Budenholzer and Jason Kidd as a coach is ridiculous.
I'm so excited for that Bucks team.
And so
we've been waiting on them for, it feels like 5 years.
Exactly, because Kidd was so bad. Kidd was a horrible coach, and now to replace him with, I think, a top 5 coach in the league, I think Mike Budenholzer is really, really good at what he does. Mm-hmm. And that addition is going to be huge. I think Giannis in an actually smart, well-thought-out offense is going to be so much fun.
The East will be boring from November until the conference semifinals. But the conference semifinals will be awesome.
Maybe. I don't know about that. I think there's some excitement in the East. I mean, I think there's some. I think
really boring comparatively.
Of course, it is less star-studded, but I think the Pacers are going to be real fun to watch.
The Sixers, obviously.
We
kind of skipped over them. I think they're the one team we know where they stand. Like the Celtics have these new.
They just didn't add anything. Like
right.
That's the disappointing thing about the Sixers.
This new question mark, as you mentioned. The Raptors added Kawhi. Budenholzer to the Bucks. The Pacers are starting to come into their own. The Sixers are just kind of, we know what they did last year, and it's the same thing this year.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think we both agree they're a top 3 team in the
They're
East.
a top 3 team.
But the 4 and 5 are not anything to scoff at.
No.
And that's what we agree. That's the Bucks and the Pacers.
Yeah, I would say so. I think there's some team. I think
that top 5. I feel like is pretty. I mean, you throw in Washington.
Yeah, Washington has to be.
Top 5, I feel like is pretty.
I guess I don't know. I think there has to be. There's going to be some flexibility there. Yeah. Washington's there. I think Miami's always in the mix. I don't think there's anyone super. I think Detroit might be kind of spicy.
Yeah, Detroit could be a fringe playoff team.
But like nothing that super captivating. But
the what we think the conference semis will be a very fun.
Yes, definitely.
Of basketball for sure. But yeah, I mean, all around. I mean, we got 35 minutes of NBA. I mean, I feel pretty.
I think
we hit everything. Josh, what do you want to add?
Not a ton. I mean, I think we pretty much touched on anything. The only thing that I think we should try to do more, I think now and in the future, is get out to some Phoenix Suns games, because the NBA is going to be fun this year.
Yeah, we should see some of the teams that are coming to the Suns, for
definitely.
Sure. I mean, I don't really feel much of a pressing need to see the Suns more than once, but
no,
that's true. But I want to see some of the other talents. When the Bucks come through, I want to see.
Yep.
How is that offense really going to run in person?
I'll scream my head off for Mikal Bridges. I'll be like, oh, DeAndre Ayton's here too. And then we'll
perfect.
We'll go watch some other teams, but I'm sure I'll get to some Sixers games while I'm back in Philly. But yeah, it should be. I mean, it should be fun.
I'm ready.
It feels like it's closer than it is.
I know. I'm so ready for
it's still over a month and a half away.
I know.
As is the college season, which is starting a half a week earlier this year.
Thank goodness.
Starting November 6th, and that is obviously a little over 2 months away.
Can't wait.
But so much is happening there too.
I know. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so I think the one thing that we keep hearing about all summer is Zion Williamson.
What? Zion Williamson is captivating college. I never would have guessed.
What a surprise! The highlight reel glory boy is captivating college basketball audiences by dunking all over Canada's best.
Yeah, not even. That's the thing. Not even Canada's best.
Because they wouldn't play Carleton.
They would not play Carleton. I'm shocked. I'm mad they wouldn't play Carleton.
Wait, okay, it's not about to say shocked. You're shocked?
Well, I'm shocked. I'm pissed they weren't playing.
That hasn't played in a away game in 9 years. Isn't going to play Carleton?
Shocked is the incorrect term. I would love to see that. I think Carleton's actually good. Carleton's everything I've heard.
That's like a tournament team.
Yeah.
In the NCAA for sure.
I've heard that like a 3-4 seed. Actually
they're
good.
A quality team.
Yeah.
But no, Duke's gonna sit back.
I'll play McGill. I'm just gonna dunk over some white kids from McGill. No, Duke's gonna be fun.
Can we hear about RJ Barrett, please?
I mean, I don't. Apparently, he just puts up 19 and 5 and like
that's
very
fine.
quiet.
And no one cares.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
He's just the best player in his class. Maybe even the number 1 pick next year, probably.
Should be number 1 pick.
I'm kind of heated that Cam missed this summer.
I know it sucks.
Cam Reddish. I mean, he's gonna be so good.
Coach K said he's the best shooter on the team, and I believe it.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, he's. I feel like he's got the kind of athleticism Zion has without that freakish size. Like he's what Zion would be athletically if he was Cam Reddish's size. You know what I mean? Proportionally to size, they're similar athletes.
I guess, but here's the thing: Cam Reddish is so much more of a complete athlete.
That I agree
Zion,
too, yeah.
Zion to me isn't that great an athlete. He's an awesome jumper.
He's just a freak.
He has hops for days, but he's not that. Nothing else he does. He's fat. Like he's just a fat guy. If we're being like. He is a husky dude, but he can jump out of the gym. Yeah. So that's all that matters. He's awesome to watch. But he's not some sculpted Greek god. Yeah. Like he's not this freak athlete. Mm-hmm. He can jump with anybody.
The matchup I can't wait to see that for them is Virginia.
Yeah.
There are a lot of good defenses in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
Syracuse is one of them, but I really want to see how they play against that pack line at Virginia.
That's going to be
because no one ever plays well against that. And can Zion jump out of the gym against Virginia?
Against DeAndre Hunter?
Can Cam Reddish light up from 3 against Virginia?
Probably not. Yeah. Oh, see, that's the problem.
Okay. He won't be his true elite shooting self.
I guess not. Virginia. But if they go into Virginia and take him down, Cam Reddish, I feel like would have a much bigger impact in that game than Zion.
I agree. And RJ too. RJ's a very good facilitator.
Oh, of course. I think that's a
given. And don't forget Trey Jones, the number 10 recruit in the class, who they also got at point guard.
Fucking nutty. That's crazy.
But that's Duke. The new Kentucky. But speaking of which, Kentucky I think is gonna be very good this year too.
Yeah.
A lot of hype surrounding Kentucky. Another sneaky team. I see you have the the recruiting rankings from 2018 up is Indiana.
Yeah,
They
I mean
scored
Romeo, that's huge.
I think they're going to be Romeo's team first of all.
Oh, definitely. He captivates all of their ball. Like he's gonna be the main ball handler. Everything's gonna run through him.
A friend of mine works for IU Athletics, and when Romeo committed, he said it was like a party.
I would have to think
Because it was like it's like the revival. It's like you
exactly
take the heart. Whatever they call it, the heart
defibrillator,
defibrillator, stat, just bam, and then they're
and then
back to
Romeo,
life.
yeah,
And
Romeo, yeah, and they're back, and our Archie Miller is back. That is huge. That was such a big signing.
We need to start getting brother games going. They need to play Arizona, and Connecticut needs to play ASU and get the Hurleys.
I'm here for it
because obviously UConn has needed a spark for quite some time now.
Definitely,
get the Hurleys playing each other. That'd be lit.
I'm excited for it.
But yeah, I mean, recruiting is obviously. I mean, this summer, I mean, Duke is the
Duke. Yeah, Duke was the clear winner. I mean, when you have 1, 2, and 3, you've won.
Do we think? Obviously, we can make no predictions regarding March.
Yeah,
I'm never gonna sit here in November or even August and say this team.
Here's our Final Four.
Here's the Final Four. No, because you're stupid if you think that.
Yeah.
No one was predicting Loyola, Michigan. Who even Villanova and whoever else made it? I mean, I get Kansas.
Kansas.
No one was predicting that Final Four at any point during last year.
No.
Not even a week before the Final Four, you were predicting that four. So I'm never gonna make March predictions.
Yeah.
But I will say it sucks for teams like Virginia and North Carolina and Syracuse and Virginia Tech and Clemson who are going to have some of their more talented teams than they've had in a while, at least especially those last three.
Definitely.
That they have absolutely zero shot at winning the ACC. Like, I mean, it pains me to say that in a way, but Syracuse is an example. Virginia Tech, great team, one of the most talented teams probably ever at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And they're not even going to sniff an ACC, ACC regular season title. Same deal for Syracuse. Same deal for even UNC. Virginia could.
Okay, no, UNC's in that. No, UNC's in the conversation. Seventh Woods is taking a big step this year. Nazir Little's going to be nice.
Nazir Little is
real good. Yeah,
he might be one of the better players in the ACC period.
Definitely, yeah. He's a top. I think he might be a top 3 pick.
He's an all-conference talent. Maybe
he's real good.
But it's just so hard to pick against that team.
Oh my God, I know.
I mean, that starting 5 it's college Warriors caliber. It really is, and obviously in college, it's a lot easier for very talented teams to not be as dominant. You'll see, like the Warriors, there's a certain point where talent wins out, and you get the law of large numbers. We have a big enough sample size, and these guys are, they're pretty locked into how good they are and what they do in the league. But in college, you see all the upsets. You see young players who are 18 years old take a night off or get rattled, and this is a very young Duke team. There's many parallels you could make to 2015 Kentucky.
Oh man, I think the similarities are staring us in the face.
It's scary, and this team very well could go 39-1 and lose in the Final Four. I would not be shocked. I don't think they're playing in a way tougher conference than that Kentucky team did.
True.
Because 2015 SEC was booty cheeks.
Yeah. And thinking back to that,
the ACC this year is gonna be good. It's always pretty good. This is another year where it's gonna be good. And I don't think Duke rolls through undefeated.
No.
But a 16-2 ACC record wouldn't be out of the question. I mean, last year's Virginia team, I believe, won at least 14, 15 ACC games, and this team is arguably more talented.
They went undefeated in the ACC.
Virginia?
Yeah.
No.
I would have. Didn't they?
No, absolutely not. The Virginia did not go undefeated in the ACC last year.
Are you okay? I'm letting you look it up. I could have sworn
17-1.
17-1. Dang it.
Ooh,
Yo,
that's scary. No, I'm trying to remember who they lose to. Oh, Duke on the Grayson Allen shot where he traveled.
That is true.
Yes,
okay.
On the travel, it was a travel. He traveled. People forget that, but point being, that's not out of the question for Duke here.
Yeah.
But I mean, what else sticks out to you? I mean, there's so much you can talk about from college. I mean, there's just so many teams.
Yeah,
players.
I think the SEC is going to be a lot of fun this year. I think Tennessee is going to be super good.
Tennessee is top 10.
Yeah,
Tennessee might be the best defense in the country.
Admiral Schofield, man, he's going to be so much fun. That's a great name, great player.
They legitimately are the best defense in the country, I think.
Yeah. I'm thinking Nevada might have something to say about that.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Vandy's going to be fun.
Vandy will be fun.
Florida is always up there. Mississippi State's got some good talent. They had a top 15 recruiting class. So yeah, the SEC might send 6-7 teams to the tournament.
That makes sense.
Maybe even 8.
Auburn. I don't think we can count out Auburn.
Auburn's fantastic too.
Yeah,
I don't even know how we forgot them.
Yeah.
If you throw in Arkansas, that's a 7-8 team bid league, and that's huge for the SEC.
Definitely.
The SEC sent, I think 2 years ago, they sent 3 teams.
Yeah, it's been a couple years.
So they've really, a lot of those teams have just kind of put it together at the same time. I think the bottom tier is still disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, that's
really
what do you expect? A bunch of football schools.
Yeah, but I mean, Alabama will take a step back from last year. They won't be. I mean,
course.
Avery Johnson's a good coach, but
Exactly.
Colin Sexton is also.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, that's a.
He was that team. But the SEC's good. Nevada, as you said.
Yeah,
I could talk about Tyus Battle, but I still think the biggest draft deadline decision was both Caleb and Cody Martin
both
coming back to Nevada,
yeah,
to a Nevada team that got a 7 seed last year, arguably better than that 7 seed, made the Sweet 16, made the Elite 8. No, lost to Loyola in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
On a close one, blew a big lead.
Yeah.
Blew a late comeback. They were trailing and then they came back and then blew it late to Loyola. But this team's they proved it to us last year. They were top 10 in KenPom, top 10 in RPI. They're probably gonna be the same this year. They're gonna roll through the mountain.
Oh my God!
They're gonna rip through the mountain. They might go undefeated in the Mountain West.
They should.
San Diego State and Boise State are their only challenge.
They should go undefeated in the West.
They really could. And this could be. I tweeted it a while ago, but this could be a Wichita State 2015, Gonzaga 20 whatever year they went almost undefeated, 17. This could be that caliber of team. This could be a 1 seed out of the Mountain West. This could be the Mountain West first 1 seed in a long time.
You could think they could be a 1 seed.
Well, I think any team that wins 30 games in the regular season, we're seeing now is a 1 seed.
Yeah.
I mean, Wichita State, we saw them get a 1 seed. Gonzaga lost the 1 game to BYU at the end of their 2017 season, and they got a 1 seed. I mean, at the very least, I think in my latest bracket they were a 3.
That seems underseeded.
Might have been a 2.
Yeah, that seems.
2 is probably your, because it's the Mountain West, 2 is probably your bread and butter there.
Exactly.
Especially when you have such a top-heavy, a pretty clear handful of elite teams.
Exactly.
Like Duke and
We're not looking for 1 seeds. I think there's so many 1 seeds. I mean,
Duke,
the fact that I haven't mentioned Kansas is embarrassing.
Kansas very well could be the best team in the country.
Exactly.
I think Kansas is the best team in the country.
Yeah, they have a real.
Kansas is gonna win the Big 12 again.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Whoa, go ahead, Jeff, going out on a limb there. Whoa.
Kansas is so scary deep. I mean, when the Gerald Vick came back and they recruit this amazing.
I don't think
class.
Bill Self wanted Gerald Vick. He's
No.
like, no, leave. I don't want you back. Do not come back.
They are 11 deep.
Yeah.
With top 100 recruit quality players.
Oh my God, yeah.
They are 11 deep, 10 or 11. I mean, they're
crazy.
I mean, they're just so quietly good because they slinked out of last year's tournament after making the Final Four. They were really kind of the underwhelming Final Four candidate because Villanova was Villanova.
Exactly.
Loyola was Loyola.
Yeah,
and Michigan was kind of this they had the big buzzer beater and they were kind of your dark horse.
People
candidate.
knew who they were, but nobody thinks of them as this basketball powerhouse.
And then Kansas was just there. They were just 1 seed who beat a bunch of good teams. There was no upset in their bracket. They beat Clemson and they beat Duke. There was nothing really
magnificent about their run.
There was no big memorable headline. They just got there, and they lost by a lot to Villanova.
Exactly.
And so no one remembers. They were the last team I mentioned in the Final Four. They were the one I couldn't remember because they just were there and they just didn't do anything. Yeah. But this is, they return almost everything. They've got one of the top 5 coaches in the game.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be stellar. They're
my God,
very good. And the Big 12 won't be that great.
Yeah,
the Big 12
I'm not that excited.
Kansas State. Kansas State's gonna be solid.
See that? Besides that,
it's gonna be a lot like last year, where you had 6 or 7 bubble teams, where you had pretty much 4 through 8 in the Big 12 is gonna be just beating each other up on the bubble, and they're all gonna have between 15 and 19 wins.
Yeah,
I mean Baylor, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State,
Texas is gonna be something.
Texas Tech could still be good.
Really, think so?
Yeah, they'll be a step back, but I think they're a tournament team.
Imagine Zaire State. I know he would have, but they had a projection for him to be there at least 2. Nobody thought Zaire Smith was a one and done. So
let alone a top 10 pick.
Exactly. So imagine being State.
Yeah. I think that's another example of a conference that has got a clear favorite.
Definitely.
And Kansas is very good. So I think, like you said, back to your point, the 1 seeds have their work cut out for them.
For sure.
Duke, Kentucky, Kansas at least.
Yes.
The rest, from there, you could argue for North Carolina. You could argue for
U of A.
No.
You don't think so?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, no. Hold on. Oh crap. I was just used to penciling them in and then no.
Arizona might not even make the tournament.
Really? You think they're that bad?
Yes.
No. Hold up. They're not that bad. Are they
That's
really?
a very common take. That Arizona won't make the tournament next year.
Wow.
Arizona, Andy Katz, who I respect his work.
Yeah.
He ranked them 7th in the Pac-12.
Holy
7th in a Garbo Pac-12.
Jesus.
In a not good Pac-12.
If I'm gonna be honest, I always just pencil U of A in for a top 3
I understand why you said that.
No, of course. And then really thinking about how much that just couple of days where they lost all of those recruits hurt. If you really think about had that happen to another program, that just demolishes their entire. They lost everyone. They lost, what was that, 3, 4, 5-star recruits in just a period of days.
And not to mention the fact that they lost 3 or 4 of their best players from last year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So a natural leaving of players, Raleigh Atkins, DeAndre Ayton, and then no incoming great players.
Like look at this roster. This is not good. Their best players are Ira Lee, Brandon Randolph, Chase Jeter will be okay.
Chase Jeter.
Big fan of the
Brandon
Jeter name.
Williams.
What's up?
Big fan of the Jeter name.
Alex Barcelo, Emmanuel Acott. These are not elite Arizona level players. They legitimately will not be a top 14 in the Pac-12, especially when you have UCLA, Oregon, Washington, all good teams. I mean, you could argue for USC, Utah, Arizona State, Colorado,
ASU
as top 6 Pac-12 teams.
Yeah.
I think in Andy Katz's rankings he had it. I know it was Washington, Oregon, and UCLA were in the top 3, and then from there it was some grouping of USC, Colorado, and ASU, and then Arizona.
Wow, that's crazy.
And so this might be a 20-21 win Pac-12 team that will be on the fringe.
Man, we are going to have to reevaluate everything we thought we knew about U of A. I think it's such a strange down year for a blue blood, for a preeminent program in this country, for them to have this sort of drop off.
Joe Lunardi has both Arizona and Arizona State as 10 seeds right now. Wow. Obviously, it's August, but we're closer to last March than we are to next March. But that still says something.
Yeah.
It says something about the caliber of what they've lost and what they didn't bring back.
That's a
what they
great
didn't
point.
add to their team.
So,
but yeah, I think they're an example of a team that really got hit hard by, 1, the draft bug.
Yeah.
And then 2, not being able to re-recruit to recover.
Yeah, just man.
Because that's the one thing that really hurts you about being a team that brings in top young recruits.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if Duke, after this year where they've got 4 NBA ready future probably lottery picks or first round picks coming out of this team that just joined this team, if for some reason they were to recruit terribly next year, they will be trash.
They will be horrible.
They will be awful because
all
they'll
it
have
takes
nothing.
is 1 year.
And that's why, obviously that's a nightmare scenario where you don't know, you can never know if that's going to happen or not. But that's when you see teams like Villanova and UNC, where in the past, where the last 2 champions developed over 4 years.
Yeah.
And teams like that are winning in college basketball. And
exactly.
They tend to be better. Last year we saw relatively experienced teams all make the Final Four.
Yeah.
We've seen Villanova 2 out of the last 3 years with seniors win it all. North Carolina, same story.
Wisconsin,
exactly. Wisconsin was the unspoken 1 seed.
Exactly.
They were in a year of Kentucky and this really good Duke team, and then here they go behind a great senior in Frank Kaminsky.
Exactly.
And,
great
one
coach.
One of several. And they win it all. And I think that's a whole different discussion to be had. But case in point, this team really got hit hard by not having upperclassmen to back up what they didn't recruit for.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
U of A, wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, we did kind of just touch on the one and done versus the developing teams over several years. An interesting point you and I have discussed is how to fix some of the issues we see regarding the issues of the one and done. And you and I talked before the podcast about an interesting case, and this is some recent news. So we're gonna wrap up with this just because it's got a bit of timeliness for it. But Darius Bazley. Let's talk about this wonderful man.
Syracuse's favorite recruit.
Yes, the best recruit they've gotten since Carmelo Anthony, and then he decided to go to the G League, which made sense. Even as someone who supports Syracuse basketball, at that point, it made sense why he wanted to go. It's like do what's best for you, buddy. But we just hear that he's not going to be playing in the G League.
Yeah,
and you just found out that today.
I did. I learned that today.
And about an hour ago. So what's your initial reaction to that?
It just if nothing else, I feel bad for the kid. I feel like clearly this is not what he planned when he left. Like when he decommitted from Syracuse. No one commits to a program like that without the intention of making it the NBA. Like that's everyone's goal who signs up for a high level D1 basketball.
He absolutely would have.
Definitely. And so I think I don't think let's make clear that I don't think his NBA story is finished.
No, his career's not over.
But the fact that he's now leaving the G League and is not playing organized basketball, he's going to just train on his own is just not what he wants. Not the best possible course for his development.
You got to be in front of some camera. You
exactly.
got to be on some radar.
You just got to be I think the best way to get better is playing against better competition, and training is not going to get that for you. And so clearly this is not what he wanted. You said off air that you thought he was deceived. I was reading an athletic article where it just sounds like he it's that he feels like it's a no-win situation where he feels like that if he succeeds, he's expected to exceed, to do well, and if he doesn't, then he's a failure.
I just think it's fool's gold. I think this G League idea was fool's gold. It's a great idea, and it's a trail you can blaze.
Yeah.
Call him Bazley. It's a trail. Sorry, it's a trail you can. It's a trail you can blaze. It's a path that you can start for other players. But once you really get into the meat of it, you realize the G League isn't, right now as it stands, it's not a factory for NBA talent.
Exactly.
It doesn't push guys to the NBA.
The thing about being a trailblazer,
it's not minor league baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you want to blaze that trail, you've got to be ready for the fact that you have to be the best player in the G League.
You're the first. You are the first person to do this.
And with the way the G League is now, the way it's set up, you have to dominate the G League.
You
have to be scary good in the G League to be noticed. Because it's a bunch of guys who most of them are older than you. Most of them are just hungry for a chance and will do anything they can to get on a roster, and that's why they're in the G League. They're not in the G League to start their career.
Exactly.
And you're going for he was going to go to the G League for a completely different approach than anybody who's in the G League is, and it's just not designed for that.
Exactly.
If we can get to a point where we can design it for it, maybe we'll see some Darius Bazleys make that jump, and maybe we'll see if it benefits their careers or not. But clearly he doesn't think it was going to. So now he's taking a year off from competitive basketball.
It's a shame. It's horrible.
Now
is there any way he could go play overseas or China or anything?
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah, is there a place? There would be some place. I bet that would take
sure.
him. But I bet there's. I would assume their seasons are. I assume the timeline is off. I assume. I mean, announcing this now is not ideal time. I think if he made the decision coming out of high school to go play internationally, he would have been fine. I think, but. I assume there's something wrong.
Especially if you make like a third announcement, like, "Oh, I'm going to the G League. Oh, I'm not going to the G League. Oh, I'm going overseas." It's like, can this kid commit to anything? And I think it just looks a little immature.
Yeah, it looks a little this is not off to a great start for Darius.
Basically. It's like that athlete who commits to who maybe he's not really that good, but gets the Duke offer and commits to it, gets no playing time, and decides, okay, this was not smart. I'm going to transfer here. And it's like, oh, I'm not ready for this. Transfer somewhere smaller. And you see that a lot with guys who just get oversold on these opportunities. I mean, this name just popped my Jordan Tucker.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's going to thrive. He's going to thrive at Butler.
He's going to be good. That was a good call.
But just one of the many examples where I think young people get told a certain thing that what they're going to have at this opportunity, and it's not there, and they have to find some way to pick up the pieces. Yeah. And it's just,
Chase Jeter on U of A.
Yeah.
Former. Bishop Gorman. That was the first thing I learned about him, Bishop Gorman, which is, football powerhouse, Bishop Gorman.
Right.
Him and Steven Zimmerman, current Orlando Magic Steven Zimmerman. How wacky
That's
is
a name drop.
Really? I mean, that is... I just remember these Bishop Gorman. I always thought that was so weird that they were these basketball stars come from a football powerhouse.
Right, yeah,
Anywho, anything else with the Darius Bazley? Anything else we need to touch on?
I mean, there's a million storylines in 4 months with basketball. I think we hit them all. I mean, Tyus Battle's back. So
yeah.
But that's one we didn't touch, so I had to sneak it in.
Of course. That makes
sense. Tyus Battle is back. I remember I was driving to work. It was like 8 a.m. and I was tired. And then somebody, I think he texted me. He's like, something like exclamation points, like oh my god or whatever. And then I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, he's back. And I'm like, yo, it was very exciting. But I think it was the right call for him.
Definitely.
But that's just another one of those million storylines that happened this summer. We could go on so much longer talking.
Yeah, we could have made.
It was basketball.
We made this an hour podcast, but it easily could have been a 5-hour podcast.
And it probably will be when we go get wings afterwards. But yes. I think that's everything. Josh, anything to add?
No, just watch out for the Brooklyn Nets this year, sneaking into the 8th seed in the East.
I'm hyped.
Well, it's good to be back, gentlemen.
It's ready. I'm hyped. Have a good one.